I'm not ready for summer. Hey there, it's Red. So today I'm going to be bringing you guys another tag video. Now during this semester I got so busy that it made it absolutely impossible to catch up on all the tags that I was tagged in. But here I'm trying to catch up on them at least a little bit. And the tag that I have for you guys today is the Birthstone Book Tag, which was created by Jay, and she's also the one who tagged me in it, so thank you, Jay. I actually really wanted to do this tag after I looked over the questions. I just thought it was such a fun and unique idea for a tag, and I actually found the questions very fun to pick books for, so let's just get right into it. Number 1, January, Birthstone, Garnet. Associated with warding off negative forces and dark energies. Name a book with the darkest, evilest character you can think of. Oh, if you guys knew how easy this one was for me. And that is Umbridge. I'm not even sure I need to explain this one, but I'm pretty sure that I will never, ever, ever read a character that I absolutely hate as much as I hate Umbridge. Ever. Number 2, February, Birthstone, Amethyst. Purple is associated with royalty. Name a book with regal qualities. You can base this off of characters or choose the king of all books. I'm not going to even explain this one. 3, March, Birthstone, Aquamarine. Washed out. Name a wishy-washy character. A character who's not strong or a follower. For that one, I chose Nick Carraway from The Great Gatsby, which I know a lot of people that actually care anything about this book will probably debate me on this, but I find him one of the most fickle, wish-washy characters ever. It's part of the reason that I absolutely despise him as a character, and not in a I hate the book kind of way, but in a you just hate a character because he's kind of an awful person kind of way. But he drives me insane. He never says what he really thinks, except to us as readers. And he's always playing both sides. He's never honest about anyone. Basically talks badly about all of his friends. And 4, April, Birthstone, Diamond. A diamond in the rough. Name a book that you loved but is not well known. I feel like I've been talking about this book so much lately. But that book is Sort of Like a Rock Star by Matthew Quick. This is actually the book I chose for my host recommendation for one of the reading challenges for the upcoming Bibliothon in July. I absolutely love this book. I've talked about Matthew Quick a billion times on my channel. Silver Linings Playbook is my favorite book. But this book is so good. One of his more underrated books in my opinion. I absolutely loved it. It was kind of a fun read while still hitting all of the emotions. And I wish more people would get on board with this book because I love it so much. Number 5, May, Birthstone Emeralds. Said to balance energy. Name 2 characters who balance each other well. For this one, I am choosing Theodore Finch and Violet Markey from All the Bright Places because although I wouldn't necessarily call their balance healthy, they did have a very symbiotic relationship. They created a very balanced relationship with one another. They found something in each other that they could not find with anyone else. This connection, this place in the world. And although there are a lot of factors that go into this book, a lot of mental health issues, they created a balance that I think kept them thriving as long as they did, and at least gave them some peace in this world throughout this book that only the other could provide. 6, June, Birthstone, Pearl. Associated with loyalty. Name a character who is loyal to the end. Now I realize it's going to be a little bit of a cliche answer, but I'm going to go ahead and pick Ron from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Now, I realize that some of you are going to argue with me on this because we could talk about the Goblet of Fire when he kind of got jealous of Harry. We could talk about the beginning of Deathly Hallows. I mean, yeah, there are some issues with Harry and Ron. They're going to have their bumps in their friendship. But I can tell you from my personal experience with my best friend, there are times where we don't always get along. We will argue. over usually something very stupid. But the important part is that at the end of the day, we always know that we're there for each other. We know that it doesn't matter how mad we get at each other. At the end of the day, you love each other. You're there for each other. There's nothing you would not do for that other person. And sometimes you're not always going to get along. Sometimes you're not always going to agree. And that's the case with them. They are true blue best friends. They are. And Ron goes through puberty just like everybody else. He's going to have his mood swings. I mean, give him a break. But considering everything he tangled himself up into, and this honestly could apply to Hermione too. I'm not excluding Hermione's loyalty. And honestly, I could have picked either one of these characters because both are insanely loyal, not only to Harry, but everybody that they care about, to their cause. I mean, Ron makes this new friend in Harry, and he misses going home on Christmas just so Harry wouldn't be alone. Why he didn't just invite him back to the Weasleys for Christmas, I don't know. I never really understood that. But the point is, he missed Christmas with his family so that his best friend would not be alone. I mean, he gives it his all, even when he didn't always have something to offer. He felt like he didn't have anything to offer. He put his life on the line. He was brave, and he was there all to help his friends. And I think that's pretty great. Number 7, July, Birthstone, Ruby. Blood Red. Name a book that made your blood boil, one that made you angry. Number 8, August, Birthstone, Peridot. Pale green. It pales in comparison to other gems. Name a supporting character who you like better than the main character. For this one, I chose Reagan from Fangirl. And don't get me wrong, I like Kath in her own unique, interesting way, but I absolutely adore Reagan. I swear I could read an entire book about just Reagan. I adore her. She's the type of person that I want to be my friend and be my dorm mate. She's so brutally honest and so unapologetically herself that I absolutely adore her. I adore her. Number 9, September. Gemstone, Sapphire. Blue like the ocean, which is calming. Name a book that had a calming effect on you. For this one, I'm picking Silver Linings Playbook by Matthew Quick. This book just affects me on such a deep level. That's why it's my favorite book. But honestly, when I get depressed, this is the book that I turn to. I find that this book helps me de-stress. I feel like this book genuinely affects my mental health in a positive way because this book sort of reminds me that life's not so bad, that sometimes things aren't always as bad as they seem, and sometimes good things are waiting, just not always in the way that you expect. And I kind of feel like this book always just sort of puts life in perspective for me. I don't know what it is, but I kind of rely on this book like a baby blanket or something. Like, I find it very comfortable and soothing. And when I do feel depressed or anxious, this is the book that I turn to. 10, October, Birthstone, Opal. Iridescent. Name an iridescent book. This can be a book with a beautiful cover, shiny, lots of color, or you can base it off of a character. Quirky, colorful. For this one, I chose Clockwork Angel by our beautiful Cassie Clare. And I always love these covers. Even before I knew anything about the Mortal Instruments, I hadn't read it. I didn't even know that these books were related to the other Mortal Instruments books. I never knew. I just always loved these covers. Like, look at that. Oh, the way the light just reflects off of them is so beautiful. And it's just got a little bit of iridescence to it. And I've always adored these covers. I swear I could never read these books in my entire life. And I would still love them and still want them on my shelf because I adore the covers that much. These are some of my favorite covers. The guy on the cover, but just the clockwork and everything in the back, I love it. 11, November. Birthstone, Topaz. Associated with resilience. Name a book with a character who rises to the top in a time of adversity. For this one, I chose Tris Pryor from the Divergent series, particularly the first book, Divergent. Now, I realize I only have the dust cover again. I think at this point, I'm just going to have to repurchase this book because I lent it to my best friend. Not only has she yet to read it and yet to return it, but she boxed it away somewhere and she doesn't know where. It's probably in her mom's rafters over at her mom's house from when she moved, and I don't know. I don't know. I should probably just repurchase it at this point because God knows if I am ever going to get this book back. This is why you don't lend out books, people. Don't do it. It's painful. It's a traumatizing experience. Anyway, Tris starts off as this abnegation that nobody really expects much of. The idea of somebody from abnegation is joining Dauntless is pretty unheard of. It's not that it's never happened, but it's very, very rare. So not only does she go and prove herself amongst the ranks of the Dauntless, but meanwhile, you've got this political turmoil sort of taking place and this adversity within their community growing and growing. And she helps topple that. She helps save lives. She helps figure out what's going on. And she puts herself out there, this little abnegation girl that everybody just thought was so sweet and quiet, turns out to be a total badass. Number 12, December, Gemstone Blue Zircon. Associated with friendship. Name a book with a friendship you want to be a part of. I would absolutely adore being part of the crew in Cress. Seriously. It kind of starts to build during Scarlet and it continues to build throughout Cress, which is why I'm choosing this book in particular. But I would love to be friends with Captain Thorn. I would love to be friends with Cress. I would love to be friends with Scarlet and Wolf. And they just have the coolest friendship pack. Guys, it is so awesome and funny, but somehow really badass and really loyal. And they're kind of like their own little family. And I would love it. I would absolutely love to be a part of this friendship. Like, it kind of breaks my heart that I can't be. So that is all for the Birthstone Book Tag. I am going to tag a few people. Whether you do it or not, up to you. Up to you, but a tag to you. And that will include all of my Bibliothon girls. And I am going to include Megan and Momo in that, who are our two guest hosts for the upcoming... I just like poked myself in the eye. I'm failing at life today, guys. And I'm also going to tag Sam from Samantha's Books. I'm going to tag Ellie from The Little Librarian. And I'm tagging Chelsea. And I totally can't remember the name of your channel right now. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But you are tagged too. Anyway, I guess that's it. And I'll talk to you guys later.